Evening all, welcome back to Factorio. So as we join this little Spidertron as he kind of bimbles about, you will note that we have an interesting new rail system. We're not going to use this. If you're interested in the blueprint, then it will probably be in the comments. If not, join the Discord. Yeah, join the Discord. This thing is an octagon base setup. You may notice something that it uses an awful lot of signals, 432 signals, pretty crazy. But it's basically something I was doing. I was challenged in the Discord to see if we could create like an octagon city block. So there we go, did it. Done, signed, sealed, delivered. Right, today we are going to go be doing some interesting things. So let's use our incredibly fast transportation device. And let's talk about what we're going to do. So the city block, the Megabase 2, is still being produced. Don't worry, I haven't forgotten about it. This is something that while I've been completely overtaken with Snowflake base, we're going to now put some time to this. And it all kind of descends from things that you need to do in a certain sequence. So the first thing to do, obviously, is to build the grid. Then we need to basically delivered bots to it so you can have some sort of system here. So if we look at our system we have here, not a huge amount of construction bots and things like that. So that's probably the first thing that we need to do, is actually have some form of delivery system here. But for now, I think we're just going to bung them in a box, scientific as ever, and we're just going to have them do you know what, let's just change that to there. So there we go. So we've got one that will have an ungodly amount of those, and one that will have an ungodly right, where did I put I put them in the Spidertron. There we go. So we've got basically a huge, I'll take a few back because I need them. So that gives us what, 2,000, no, 400. That's pretty good. So because they're legendary as well, they're going to be pretty rapid. Let's see. So I don't think, yeah, that looks about right. So let me just put some more. 1 2 3 4, I don't know, I can't remember how many I'm supposed to have, so let's hope that I've not fluffed that up. But there we go. So what really I wanted to start with was the ability to actually concrete this thing, because we have a few blueprints that we can use here. I'm currently using, well, that's probably not it. Let me see where, if I can find where I put it. There we go. So we're using this one, which, if I just show you what it looks like, it's basically this thing here. And what I've done is I've just included a quadrant. Doesn't look good like that, but it looks good when zoomed out. And it gives us an understanding of where these little chappies should be. Oh yes, and I upgraded the planner as well. Thank you everyone who said you should just set it to any quality. So let's just test this thing. So if I just do maybe this bit here, let's just do inside the rails. So that means it just upgrades anything that isn't legendary in this case, which is brilliant. So thank you for that. So you do read the comments. Honestly, I do. And what that means is that basically we have then a city block, which if we wanted to, we could section it. What I wanted to do, and I may still do this, is every single city block should have a code. So we would know, you know, A07-1 or .1. So you would know you're talking about that. It's wayfinding. Seriously, it's a big topic, actually. If you work in real estate, property, buildings, things like that, you get to know these things. They're quite important because people, well, we're all kind of spazzy in a way because we kind of get lost if you enter a very large building. And I think that's kind of the point. So anyway, what I wanted to do was have some sort of simple unloading. Let's just use what we've got here, because this is actually quite effective. So let's just copy that. It doesn't have to be super quick. And then I thought, because again, my brain is a prized treasure to me. If we just have then something like this, we then don't even need to carry the hazard stuff. We can just get that to do one version of it. And I don't think I want too much of that. That's probably fine. And let's copy that. And then we'll do the same. Oh my god, sorry for the clicky clacking, it's so loud. This keyboard is ridiculous. It's just like, it's like a torture. Let's try that again. H, oh my gosh. Boom. Right, so that then will be set to the other type of concrete. There we go. So at least, it doesn't give us stone bricks, but we can worry about that another time. So let's see, can I? Yes, I can. So 1, 2. So there we go. So that will start that process. So we'll start getting these in. That's pretty sweet. And then really, it's just a case of planting it, really. Let's see, where's my... There we go. So this is my latest city block. Let's just start here. And I'm afraid it's not very scientific. It literally is. You just paste it. And then let's watch this thing be built. That's rather majestic, isn't it? But it builds it quite quick because obviously legendary robots, etc. So this is good. And I think not going too crazy. Otherwise it takes forever to build. So the logistical system here does require, that's very satisfying, does require that this thing, which is an old design, really old design in fact, runs. So yeah, we're going to run low on concrete, things like that. Oh, okay, so the other train's on its way, which is good. There we go. So we're getting the other type of concrete as well. So brilliant. So that's pretty sweet. So this will be the beginnings of our system here. We'll just help fill the gaps. So we can start to fill in the blocks. Now, I'll probably upgrade this because, again, I'm not entirely that crazy about it. And I do like the idea of trying to incorporate something like this maybe into the city block, but we'll see. So I think this just starts the process. I need to just set this. We take all the trees away because we don't want any of them. I hope that works. Did that work? Probably didn't. I'm still learning these things. Normal entities, yes, that should work now. Let's see. Yes. So let's just clear that. Boom, bish, bash, bosh, done. So there we go. So this is kind of the beginnings of, I think, no, it's been a hell of a journey to get to this point. If you're someone that watches my content regularly, and you realise that you're like 7 videos into the Megabase build and I'm now literally starting to build it, you're getting a sense of what my kind of mindset is. I'm sorry, I apologise. Let's talk about Snowflake Base because this thing has become just simply epic. It is redonkulous. Let me talk you through very quickly what I'm doing with it. We will do a dedicated Snowflake Base at some point, but let me just walk you through what has been probably 5 hours of play off camera to get this thing to bloody work. It's been a nightmare. So what I've been finding with this is, let me tell you my secret shame first. I created, let's just show with visuals, I created these two sensibly, and then being lazy, I just copied that, pressed H to flip it, and then pasted it here. Now, again, the sage, experienced ones amongst you are scratching your beard now saying, yeah, you shouldn't have done that. Because it's done this. It flipped the lines. I know I shouldn't have done it. And I don't know if I can be bothered to go fix it now. Because look at it. Look at how much work it would be to fix it. So I think I'm just going to live with it. I'm one of those engineers that's quite happy having flaws in my design. I'm okay with it. Because like the Italians would say, it's a feature. So when things like Ferraris and Lamborghinis and things like that, when you close the door and it doesn't quite fit, you know, they would laugh and go, "Hey, shrug, it's a cat. It's a, you know, it gives the car character." This is how I like to think. The car is a bit wonky, so the base is a bit, well, wonky. Anyway, ignore that. Look beyond these points and let me explain to you what we're doing, and then we will go back to the Megabase, promise. So we have now dedicated a module. Have I lost my little module names? I think I have, actually. Where's the module names gone? Interesting. Oh, well, there's supposed to be module names, but I can see some there, but I must have just deleted them. But you see, we're going to have a module for Vulcanus, Nauvis, Gleba, Fulgora, Aquilo, and then another, right? But the idea is again, think of the logistics of this. Everything lands on this part of the base. This is where resources come to. So that gives us a massive challenge to get things, let's say tungsten, right? Let's say tungsten ore. I don't know if I'm going to bring carbide into space, but let's say tungsten. You have to then feed it through to here, process it, work on it, while also doing other things. Now, thankfully, anything the asteroids can give, we can then build in here. Don't like this, we're going to build that into the loop properly. And then you process it, you do things to it, and then you have to send whatever product back along here, okay? That's going to be how it will be for Gleba, for Fulgora, etc. And that's really interesting to me because these are going to be basically logistical highways where you will have an ungodly amount of, well, stuff moving on conveyor belts. I dread to think how many conveyor belts we have at the moment. Let's see, will it tell me? So 30,000 conveyor belts currently sat in in this weird platform thing. But there we go. So interesting. I think you'll agree. I think that's something that's going to be a bit of a challenge, but I think that's kind of the fun of the game, really, isn't it? You should try and do these things. One of the things I'm trying to do as well is, I think, just try and work out what we're going to do with this part of the base. I still want to do legendary science, so I think that'll be the first thing that we do. We have our defenses pretty much set. I think we're good, and it's really just a case of now doing it. And I think, honestly, it's just going to be me, on a Sunday probably just sat doing this. And I think that's going to be pretty much my my weekend for a good few days. Is going to be figuring out. I'll build something. I don't know necessarily if you want me to do that on camera. Post in the comments if you do. But I mean, the majority of this, I think, is just me umming and ahhing it and working it out. The real kind of way I'd like to do this is, for example, let's just show you my thoughts. So that is an iron and copper smeltery, more or less. You can cut out this stuff and you can rebuild the train line back in. But it could just be that we simply say, right, let's just rebuild that. If I could just, there we go. So if I just clicked it now, it would just place that in and we then have that. I'm not going to do that. But I think that's probably what I'm going to do, is just go around and basically blueprint some of the basic things that we may need. And I think it really does come down to, well, what actually do we need? So I think one of the things I do want to do is a proper fusion reactor setup. I've not done that yet. I'm still running on nuclear. And I think nuclear is fine, because what else are you going to do with the uranium? Seriously, I mean, at the moment, I'm destroying huge quantities of it, but I should be doing something more with it. So I think we're going to do some sort of fusion. So we'll add that to our, let's just do fusion. Apologies for my deafening clicky-clacky keyboard. And then I think that starts the process of really filling in the gaps here of what we want to make this base to be. Because I do think Legendary Science is a very interesting challenge. I do think that would be quite cool. Currently, I am having a nightmare with science. I've just seen again it stopped. I don't get it. What am I doing wrong? Let's go and see. What has happened now? So we don't have any space science. Why? This is what I mean. It's why would that stop working? You can see my space science setup. Rather splendid, I think you would agree. But look, it's clogged. Oh my gosh, this thing's slowly driving me mad. I think probably, again, we need to rebuild this entirely. And not have it static, really. This is currently a static base that generally has worked so well so far. But I think the issue is, what are we missing? We're missing carbon, because carbon has backlogged. So this is why, again, I do think I'm a bit of a knob at times, because the designs are just I don't know. Do we have what are we missing? Right, let's just use that. There we go. That should start the process. Boom, boom, boom. So you see how annoying that is. That's just mega annoying. So there we go. So that is just a wonderful example of the kind of things that you do with this. You chase bottlenecks continually. Very satisfying though. I mean, I must admit, it is a wonderfully satisfying process to follow. But there we go. So a couple of things to point out as well. The trees don't grow on landfill, so don't bother, because it looks stupid. Yep, looks stupid, I know. But look where it does. Ooh, pretty. And I think I've been told that if you destroy the tree, so you actually process it, I don't know what you then do with it, probably just recycle it, it apparently consumes even more pollution. So probably try that. I think what we'll do is just, oh, again, another one. Oh, such a shame. But anyway, what we'll do is we'll just basically put the wood into a recycler. Now, we don't want to burn it, because obviously that creates more pollution. So I think we'll have a thing, think how best to do that. But there we go. So I kind of think that this is kind of what we're going to do for a while. My feeling is, again, that landfill probably is going to be needed here. Let's just go and fill this in. If I can remember how to do that. There we go. All these lovely fishies. Probably should rescue them, shouldn't I? But there we go. I think part of me just wants to... there we go. Just wants to sort of get this part of the base moving, because I do find it very fun that there is this kind of logistical hub between them. That is very satisfying, watching these trains go back and forward. I'm going to build more bridges. There's going to be a real kind of connection to these two bases, but I am Rather excited for this. Let's just fill the gaps. There we go. Thank you, Green Spidertrons. You are awesome. I think, are they out? Are they really out of landfill? No, they're not. See, I can't work that out. Oh my gosh, seriously, clicky clacky keyboard. So there we go. So I think this kind of is going to be where we kind of end up. I think, again, the process is going to be moving some of this stuff, because we've got obviously legendary stuff here. Maybe it's time to move them across as well. I think that's probably something we're going to probably just duplicate. So we won't remove this. We'll just build another one. I do think as well the train system here is poor. I think it's time to really rebuild some of this. Like maybe we just extend into here so we have one set and then two sets. I mean, this thing is an absolute waste of time, so I'm just going to delete it. I hate it. I do not like you, sir, because this thing is just pointless. It doesn't do anything. These also are completely pointless. They don't do anything, so let's just get rid of them. Try not to delete the things that I need. There we go. So I think this square here is going to be reclaimed and turned into another kind of factory here. I do love bots. They are wonderful. How you would play this game without bots towards the latter part of the game is quite a thought, isn't it? Can you imagine, like, and I don't mean kind of just supplying stuff, because obviously that's fine. Could you imagine going and clicking and building like at this level of the game? It'd drive you mad, wouldn't it? Again, good example that they obviously play tested their game to the very end, because a lot of people probably wouldn't do that. They'd be like, it's fine. In fact, there's a wonderful game I played a long time ago called Fortress Craft Evolved. And I think it was a bit of a kind of clone of things like Minecraft and certainly Factorio. But it was an interesting game. I liked it. I thought it had real potential. And I've just seen that they're going to do, not an update, but another version of the game. So they want you to pay more money or something like that. But it was one of those things, I think I've even did a video of it. I may go and dish that out and have a look at it again. I'll make a post of it, because I found it was one of those games where it's like you had to transmit energy, you had to move materials, you had to process things, but it was all like Minecraft going down, where there was no end to how far down you went. And the logistics of building into giant caverns, it was good, it was really good. Go and check it out, Fortress Craft Evolved. I don't even know if you can even buy it anymore, but it was a very good game. I was always quite impressed with what it was. So, you know, it's one of those things, isn't it? You sort of get a bit of a gem. And I think the developer was a single developer, so obviously it was going to have issues. And I think there was always going to be challenges with that. But, you know, he was quite a good guy. I think, in fact, fun fact, one of my very old tweets that I gave was a joke saying to the Factorio devs, it was a long time ago, it was something like, my trade network, blah, blah. And they replied back with a funny kind of, oh yeah, well, we're doing this. You know, it was a real kind of like, yeah, they got that I was having a bit of a joke. The developer of Fortress Craft Evolved thought I was having a stab at him. He got a bit nasty with me, and I was like, oh man, people read tweets the wrong way, don't they? I think that's the problem with the internet, really, isn't it? You read things and you kind of put your spin on what you think they're saying it like. Do you know what I mean? Like, I find that a real kind of issue nowadays, but it was interesting. But anyway, good game, totally worth. If it's like £5, just £5, just buy it. It's wonderful. And I'm not sponsored, by the way. I should absolutely point out, not sponsored in any way. I think it's just one of those games that you sort of think, oh wow, I wonder what happened to that. And this is like 5 years ago, maybe more. And I went and checked it because I was like, I wonder what they've done with the game. And turns out nothing really. It's just sat and not done anything, which is, again, sort of sad. But what was interesting to see is obviously they have an idea of a new game or something like that. But I don't know anything about the new game. I'm more interested in the old one. And I think I was kind of curious to see if they were still supporting it. It's a bit like Project Zomboid. I dip back into that one every so often because it is probably one of my most... I mean, I've got hundreds of hours in that game. I played it to death. And I think it's one of those ones that, again, a bit like Factorio, it just got better and better. And it continues to as well. Again, not sponsored, not not selling these people's games. I'm just telling you what I thought was quite good. And I would say definitely things like Project Zomboid, they had a charm about them that continues to evolve. But again, I think it's one developer. And sometimes you sort of think to yourself, gosh, I wish these developers would sort of have a bit of gumption to get some funding. I know it's probably the quickest way to go bankrupt. I know that, but it's all. I think that's the thing, is people are afraid of failure. That's a problem in life nowadays. Oh, hello, what have we got here? Let's set up a cooling tower just to get rid of all that. I think that's the issue generally in life, is that people are a little bit afraid of failing. And I think honestly 9 times out of 10, you know, the journey is the important bit, not the end result. And I think that's why most people shouldn't worry about failing, because it doesn't really matter. Oh, hello, what happened there? Why? Oh, is it because it's fishies? Right, stupid me. Oh, God, tell you what. Such a knob. There we go. Inequality. So let's just delete that. Oh my gosh, seriously. You wouldn't think I'm someone with thousands of hours playing this game, would you? Oh, my days. There we go. So, yeah, fun times. I think we're going to continue this wonderful, wonderful build. I do get such enjoyment from it. I mean, the plans of what we want to do in the future. I mean, I want to come back to Volcanus. There are too many worms. I want to destroy them. I want to explore and expand. I want to look again at some of the sort of science that we're doing here, because I would love to move that to the orbital platform, the Snowflake base, because wouldn't that be great to have like space science in space, science in space? And I think that's the plan. So again, it's going to be quite a long set of videos. So I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope you're enjoying basically this load of bibble. I hope you enjoyed that. See you next time.